Have you ever fallen for a stylish design trend, but then you came to shortly regret it due to all the maintenance and cleaning required? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're gonna dive deep into 5 high maintenance kitchen design decisions that you should avoid if you are gonna redo your kitchen. Because your kitchen should be the heart of your home that you love to entertain in and cook your food for your family in. It should not become a full-time cleaning nightmare. My name's Carrie, a designer here at Penny Modern, and I've also fixed up 5 different fixer-uppers in the past 10 years. And I've gathered insights from a variety of different homeowners, as well as interior designers and design experts, as well as my own experience, so you know that this advice is legit. And don't miss tip number 5, which is going to be the most controversial because it's going to be about what are the best cabinet designs and colors that you should be choosing when you're thinking about maintenance and cleaning for the future. And I expect the comment section to go wild on that one, so don't miss out. Let's get right into it with one of the first kitchen design choices that's really all over Pinterest and Instagram right now, and that is fluted kitchen islands and just fluting in general on a variety of places in your kitchen. Fluting is really having a moment right now along with those wooden slats, and it's because it does give your home a very custom high-end look. Fluting provides a very sculptural way to add a ton of visual interest without having to paint your kitchen a bold color. And that is why a lot of designers and influencers are using it right now. But here's the thing that nobody's gonna tell you until you actually install it in your own kitchen. That is, it has grooves, right? And those grooves collect dust, fingerprints, dirt, food, and a variety of other things. If you have little kids, just think of those little tiny fingers getting in between those grooves and putting all of the jelly, crumbs, dirt, and grime in your beautiful fluted kitchen island. Designer Anastasia Casey is even quoted as saying that fluted panels are actually a design disaster if you actually end up cooking in your kitchen, which a lot of us do. If you really are in love with the fluted trend, you could try fluting in terms of a glass cabinet door and maybe put that on your upper cabinets. I would actually recommend probably away from your range because you don't want a bunch of grease and buildup to get on those fluted glass panels. Or maybe you want to try some fluting in a different area of your home. You could use it in something like a console table. You also could use it in a end table, or you could even try to get a fluted door for your vanity in your bathroom if that is something that you really, really love and you want to incorporate in your home. And because the bathroom doesn't have all the grease splatters and as much food and everything like that, it might be a better place to add fluting. Now let's talk about something that is in 90% of builder grade kitchens. And it's actually in my kitchen too, and that is the over-the-range microwave. Now, we purchased this home last year and we don't have the money to do a complete kitchen gut renovation and remodel. So we are just living with what the appliances were and the kitchen cabinets and everything that came with the home. But I can tell you from personal experience some of the issues with the over-the-range microwave in terms of maintenance. Many people have over-the-range microwaves because there wasn't a lot of counter space in their home and they decided to put it in because obviously you're going to be cooking in this area anyway. So I think people just thought, why not have it above the range? But there are a couple problems, and one of them is really around the venting. So when you are cooking on your range, and you are relying on if there is any kind of vent system, and a lot of them are recirculated vents in the over-the-range microwave, it doesn't really work as well because obviously the microwave's kind of in the way. And I think honestly, a lot of people forget to turn it on because when I redid our kitchen cabinets, I painted them and I was cleaning up here. There was an extremely large amount of built up grease above this because I don't think the prior owners really ever used the vent in the microwave when they're cooking down here. So it just allows for all this grease buildup up above it, which gets really dirty and nasty over time. And that's something that Consumer Reports actually agrees with me, that a lot of the ventilation systems that are in these over-the-range microwaves, they don't really meet very high standards in terms of actually removing the grease and smoke from your kitchen. And that is also an air quality issue as well. The other issue with the over-the-range microwave is actually because it is so high up, obviously your kids can't use it, but also just like getting a dish in and out of the microwave and over the range, you're more likely to spill and drop stuff onto your range, and that will require more cleaning as well. Where should you put your microwave instead? That is a great question. In our previous home, we put the microwave inside of a pantry cabinet. So we had 2 pantry cabinets side by side, and one was like normal pantry and the other one had our microwave and Tupperware and some other stuff, and we created an appliance garage in the other pantry cabinet. The other option is you can get some of the drawer microwaves. So those are in the lower part of your cabinet, and it's a drawer that comes out, so it's a microwave drawer. Or you also can just get a countertop microwave and have it on your countertop. You also can get a microwave cabinet. It's basically, it is a movable cabinet or cart that you can put your microwave on, or you can build an appliance garage when you're designing your kitchen. So that would be a cupboard that goes all the way to the countertop, and then you would have a plug in it, and that way you could actually have it covered and a door over it, and you just open the door when you're going to use it and then you close it. It's going to be a lot easier in terms of the maintenance. So are you a fan of the over-the-range microwave, or do you hate it and you want it to stop? So let me know down in the comments below. Next, let's move on to backsplashes. You can see here, we actually don't have a backsplash because the house didn't come with one. We're definitely gonna put one in when we do our kitchen makeover and our full renovation. But one of the backsplash styles ends up being a maintenance nightmare, and that is those tiny tile backsplashes. Think mini subway tiles or penny tiles or those tile mosaics that have a lot of grout lines. Those tiny little grout lines and the numerous grout lines create a very significant cleaning nightmare, and they basically can trap a lot of grease and a lot of dust, and they also can turn color. The other thing that can happen in those that I noticed at our last place, because our house wasn't built directly on a cement foundation, it was on stilts basically. And so the grout actually cracked in some places because of shifting in the house. So that the more grout you have, the more cracks you could get in your grout. Same thing happened to my mother-in-law. She saw some cracks in the grout. You want to have the less grout because you'll have less cracking and less maintenance. What should you choose instead? You can get larger format tiles. You could use really big ones. A lot of people are doing the full-on countertop, the same material as their countertop, they put on their backsplash, so that really you don't have like any grout lines basically. Or you can use just a larger tile and not the tiny ones. So, you know, a subway size or maybe a longer subway size, and that way you're gonna minimize the grout lines at least to a point. If you already have a backsplash that has a ton of grout, make sure you have a sealer on it to seal all that grout, and that'll help protect it from some of the stains. Or if you have a mosaic or a beautiful smaller tile that you just absolutely love, the other thing I would recommend is trying to not use bright white in terms of your grout color, and use a little bit darker, maybe a gray, maybe a beige, or maybe something darker in terms of hiding at least some of the dirt that's gonna occur in those grout lines. If you are planning your own kitchen makeover or kitchen renovation, and that's why you're watching this video, I've got a great free resource for you. It's my kitchen budgeting worksheet, And it basically is a list of all the different items that you might need to spend money on if you're gonna do a kitchen renovation. It's gonna help save you time, might even help save you money. Download your copy today for free at pennymodern.com/freebies, and that link's gonna be down in the description. Now let's talk about something that's been a feature of a lot of different kitchens, like rustic kitchens, farmhouse style kitchens, even some modern kitchens and Scandinavian kitchens, and that would be butcher block countertops. They're very affordable. They also are very beautiful and natural looking, and they also can really help warm up a kitchen, especially if you have a white kitchen or a cool tone kitchen. That warm wood can really warm things up in terms of the visual design. But there's a not so pretty side of butcher block countertops, and that is the maintenance. Here is the downside. They stain very easily. They also can scratch very easily, and they're very sensitive to water, which really makes it a problem if your butcher block countertops are near your sink. And the other thing is you do have to do a lot of maintenance. You have to do an oiling and a treatment on them to keep them looking beautiful, and you need to make sure you clean up any water or wetness on them very quickly so you can avoid any staining. They also can absorb stains because they are somewhat porous. If you have kids or maybe you drink wine, some of those dark colored liquids can definitely stain your beautiful butcher block countertops, which would definitely be a maintenance nightmare. And make sure that you never actually cut things on them, because that can also, if you have knife marks in them, that can actually make them more porous and make them more prone to staining. So you don't actually want to cut anything on your butcher block countertops if you want to maintain them. What should you do instead? If you really love the look of butcher block, you definitely can put them in a smaller area. Maybe it's just on a small island. Maybe it's on a coffee bar area. Or the other way, if you really just want to incorporate some wood elements, would be to add things like a chopping board, or maybe a bowl, like wooden bowls, and some decor items that are made out of wood. And that way you can get those warm wood elements in your kitchen. In terms of countertops that are gonna be easier to maintain, my number one recommendation is definitely quartz, because it comes in so many different colors and finishes and designs and styles, and it is very easy to maintain. If you want something that's a definite workhorse though, granite is another great option because it's even more durable than quartz, but maybe there are not as many design styles to choose from. Hit the like button if you think quartz is a great choice for countertops. And if you still love butcher blocks, no matter what I say, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, now let's go to the biggest controversial design for kitchens that I wanted to talk about in this video, which is around your cabinet choices. But first, if you want to learn how to decorate your home like a pro, but on a budget you can afford, hit subscribe, because that's what we're all about here at Penny Modern. This next section is around the cabinet choices. Now, cabinets are gonna be one of the most expensive things that you are putting into your kitchen, right? So you wanna make the right choice when it comes to your cabinets in terms of your maintenance, as well as the style and look of your kitchen. So here is the deal on your cabinet choices. I think there's two areas that are up for debate when it comes for high maintenance. So one is the style of cabinet door that you choose, and the other is color. And these are just my opinions. Feel free to debate me in the comments below. But first, I want to get started with the door style that you want to choose. My advice is definitely you want to choose something that's a simpler door style, so a flat front, maybe a shaker, maybe a slim shaker. And what we have on our kitchen is actually a raised panel, and a raised panel with an arch. So I'd say the more fussy that your cabinets are, the more places that grease, food, and dust are gonna collect on them. And it also makes them a little bit harder to clean, as well as honestly, when you're refinishing as well, it makes it a little bit more tougher if you ever decide to paint them like I did. But we did have shaker cabinets at our last home, and I will say, in terms of maintenance, there was a ton of dust that collected on the bottom of that inner shaker. It just was a magnet for dust and dirt, and if you have pet hair or whatever. The flat front are a little bit easier in terms of dust collection. But then we have color. So what color should you pick? What is the best for maintenance? So that is definitely going to be something that I think we can debate. In my previous house, I had a bright white, an Arctic white kitchen cabinet color. And I will say it literally showed every nick, every fingerprint, every piece of food, and it was a nightmare. Like when I had people come over, I was like cleaning my cabinet fronts, and it's annoying along with the dust collection for being a shaker. It was a maintenance nightmare, honestly. And then I've also heard on completely black kitchen cabinet colors, those show a lot of dust as well as fingerprints as well, but they are gonna hide like food splatters a little bit better. So what should you do instead? My advice would be maybe get something in the middle, right? So definitely not a bright white. Maybe you want a cream, maybe you want a beige, maybe you want a gray color that's if you want something on the lighter end. And then if you do the wood, you could do a natural wood, and anything with a grain is actually gonna hide a lot of dirt and dust. Having wood cabinets that show the real grain on your wood is not a bad call at all. It's actually really good in terms of your maintenance. And the other option is if you want to choose a color, you could get, like I have a charcoal color. You also could do something that's like a green or maybe a blue, and getting something that's a mid-range in the color, not too dark, but also not super light. And that'll help hide your dirt as well. Let me know down in the comments below. I am open for debate. Do you think that shakers are just a magnet for dust? Or do you think that they are the best thing since sliced bread? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you love yourself some bright white kitchen cabinets, I want to know that too. And you don't care if they show a little bit of speck of dirt once in a while, not a big deal. Or do you love a wood tone, a natural wood tone? Let's debate in the comments below what you think the easiest maintenance choice are for cabinets. Let's go. Now that you know what are the most high maintenance kitchen design choices that you can make and what to do instead, you might want to know which kitchen upgrades are not really worth the money, and that way you won't install some expensive upgrade in your kitchen that's not even worth it. So watch this next video right here, which is all about the kitchen upgrades that homeowners regret the most, and I'll see you in the next video.